forklift?
Yeah, yeah.
You are a son of a bitch.
Un saluto a
Hey.
tutti.
What's up, Juventini? Welcome back to the AJC. All right, I got Omer, I got Anthony. It is match day, and yeah, just kind of like Alex P saying, it feels like Juve are playing once in 2 months. Yeah, not as many
Yeah,
games as we're used to. The tally on the live shows was just insane
I like
last
it.
season, but hey, it's okay. It is what it is. Still a match day. I think we'll get that victory today, but we'll cover everything that is Juve versus Udinese, and we're going to tackle the news as well, as there's quite a bit going on in as far as the news goes too, but we'll have some fun with that. Guys, Super Bowl hangover or what? Guys all happy? Okay, the Swifties are going to be happy today, whatever. What'd you think of the game there, Anth? Did you make something on some parlays
Pretty.
at least?
I know. I hit on the MVP. Pretty crappy through 3 quarters, but hey, listen. The ladies in my house were happy. A couple Swifties in my household, they're happy. It's a great story. You want to know some? There's a lot of people out there that want to yell at a sunny day. So that's why I call those people Chads and Brads, as Taylor Swift likes to call them. The Chads and Brads are all upset that they won, but hey. Now we're into the off season with the NFL. These are dark times, but at least we have Juve to fall back on a Monday. Can we please with the Monday games? Like what? Can we please?
Yeah, these Monday games. Come on, I need the live watch-alongs. I need everybody in there sharing the reactions. But it is what
Jeez.
it is. All right, Omer,
It
how
is
are
what
you
it
doing, my
is.
man?
I'm great. I'm great. It was like 3 a.m. for me when the Super Bowl started, so I skipped that. Maybe I'll rewatch it, but I'm glad to see Ant is happy.
Just skip to the end.
Mm.
Skip to the ending. That's
Right
when
to
it
the
got
end.
good. Go to 2 minutes
Uh-huh.
left in the game,
No,
and
like
then
how was
yeah.
the halftime show?
I thought it
Eh,
was for a guy with that many hits. Usher, it was kind of weak.
Yeah, no, well, I
uh,
need to watch it. Okay, cool.
I think they peaked with Snoop Dogg and Dre. But
no, they peaked with
Yeah,
Bruce Springsteen when he slid in the camera and his junk went right into the camera lens.
pick when with
Oh
James
man,
Brown, and that's it.
there you
I don't
go.
know.
There you
That
go.
Prince one
All
was pretty
right.
good too. Anyways, we move.
Before before I say what's up to everybody in the chat, okay, I do want to say something. There is a link. There's a link in this video, and it goes to a GoFundMe we have set up for our friend Addie, who is still battling a rare disease, spinocerebellar ataxia. I'm pretty sure I butchered that, but you know what? At the end of the day, it's one of our
I,
friends, one of our fellow Juventini who is struggling, that needs help, as the medical bills keep piling up on him. Absolutely anything is welcome as a donation as we try to help him. All right. Even if you were to take the link and share it or whatnot, there will be posts going out on our social media platforms later today, but we continue to try and help our struggling brother Addy. All right. So best wishes for him. And there is another GoFundMe set up for him. All right. Now, let's take a look and see who we got rocking today. Adam coming in here. Ciao, Alex P. Ciao, tutti. We got Tony Trim coming in here. Buongiorno a tutti. Where is the cute girl that joins? Luca? Can't make it.
no,
Yeah,
he's got piano lessons. That's right.
yeah, but it's okay. Forza Juve, absolutely. Ciao tutti, Forza Juve from Vince. Friday and Wendy, ciao. WCast, nice. You know, like I think we
I don't know
brought
what
this
that
up
means.
a little while ago, like the three amigos there, Chase, Martin, and Short there. Okay.
We are the three amigos.
They didn't have a song.
Yes, they did.
No, they didn't. Did they?
You bet your ass they did.
No. Oh,
Yep.
we'll have to look at that. Anyways,
Three
now, guys,
amigos.
we're going to kick things off with
Too
some
good.
news, everybody. All right. So you guys had probably
Creed.
seen the video I did talking about the reform, okay? The reform on City A, and there's a lot to kind of tackle in there and handle. It's not terribly wild, but there are some things I'm okay with, and there are others I am not so much okay with. So first off, Serie A wants final say on any federal council votes that concern in license for registration for championships. I kind of think like that much makes sense. So we kind of leave that one alone. Salary caps. so teams don't spend excessively compared to their earnings. I simply say careful here, because do you
Mm-hmm.
want to, if it's not a global thing, okay, and other leagues aren't doing this, you might be shooting your bigger clubs in the foot, and let them deal with it. Juve used to deal in the red every year in, year out, and it was a way for us to kind of maintain and stay up there. So I say kind of careful on that one. You might shoot yourself on the foot. Guys, thoughts on the salary caps idea for Serie A?
Homer.
Yeah, I'm saying it's definitely shooting yourself in the foot. I mean, money always wins. Players will go where there's money. And just if it's just in Italy, then no way. It has to be something at least in the scales of Europe. Okay, I'm not expecting anything from FIFA, but it has to come from UEFA in some sort of form that is applied to everyone equally.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is just City, really mismanaging themselves over years and trying to find solutions internally. And it's just, hey, stop investigating your big clubs. That's probably a good idea. Sign some good TV contracts. You know, why not? Improve your marketing. How we work on those three things, and then we start talking about a salary cap.
Yeah, I think when you start hearing about things like this, and then a TV production that they wanted to all do in house and set all up their own, and they had a bunch of owners that wanted to do that, so they can essentially reap the rewards of that. And a year wasn't enough time, and then you start hearing about things like this that, like, obviously we can all see it a mile away. That's just gonna hurt you guys, and yeah, if you start capping that, it's going to be a problem, and probably, teams are going to have a tougher time, an even tougher time of attracting talent. You've already gotten rid of the growth decree. And now on top of that, you also want to throw a cap on there. Yeah, I don't see how that isn't shooting your own clubs in the foot. But nonetheless, that's one of the things they brought up. Increasing the amount of non-European players and allowing 8-year deals. So this
They don't
one,
have that. That's new. Okay.
yeah, so this one's a little bit interesting. And man, I feel like it's three for registering, and I think they want to make it 5, something along those lines. But this one, I'm kind of, to be honest, I'm a little bit indifferent to. 8-year deals, I mean, is anybody going to do an 8-year deal anyways? I mean, we shouldn't be doing that regardless, but
Well, they did. If we are going like a little further into a more futuristic league, the Premier League already had it.
on
Like
those
recent,
massive contracts, yeah.
yeah, and they already changed it. If I
Yeah.
remember correctly, they changed it back and limited to 5 years, I believe. But like
Yeah.
Enzo Fernandez would sign on an 8-year deal, Mudryk, all those guys. So
Yeah.
if it the Premier League already tried it and they reverted from it, so why take the chance? Why would it work here?
Yeah. As far as the like limit on the non-European players, I mean, 3 to 5, whatever, it's not really a big thing. I know people are going to talk about like Italian players and everything like this, and we need so much more help than how many the teams actually register and everything like that. But
This
again,
is something that it's similar to what they do in the NFL, where they sign the big contracts, backload the later years, so your first years you can spread out any bonuses. You can really spread things out. The problem is that if you keep kicking the can down the road, you know the
yeah.
piper's going to come for his payment sooner than later.
Yeah.
So
And thank you, Haneen. That's what I thought. Okay, so it's 2. It's 2 every year for non-European players, okay? One new one if another one goes away. So you essentially, yeah, have to get rid of one to register another. So, yeah, makes sense. But yeah, not a huge one. 18 teams, okay? And less games. Today we saw the news that they do not want to actually change to, they'll keep it at 20. But the less games things ties into the Coppa Italia. And this one I don't actually like, because what they wanted to do was have Coppa Italia games also count as points in the table. For me, that's nonsense. You've got a luck of the draw type scenario, and if you
what?
look at the opponents, Yeah, it's just crazy. They want to make it like a separate tournament, involve kind of some more teams so that the league teams are all kind of in there, but then they'll play games that are Coppa Italia, but the points also go towards the table.
So
It's
stupid.
yeah, I don't like that one at all. I've seen it
But
in North American leagues. We actually do that in our league. So it's like we play our league, and then from a certain date, the fixtures we play against all the teams in our league, that's called President's Cup. And those points, those wins, whatever, not only do they count towards you advancing in President's Cup, but they actually go towards the table. And I think it's ridiculous. I think it should be a standalone tournament, but
If it takes
how is
longer
that
than
fair?
two sentences to explain, don't do it.
yeah. Omer?
How is it fair? I don't get it.
Exactly.
Like teams who play all the way like to the semifinals, that's
They
4
get more
games. Like
points. Hmm.
they have an option for an extra 9 on other teams. I don't see how it makes sense to do that.
Yeah.
Sounds
It
ridiculous. But the 18 teams, yeah, all the way, do it.
18
18
instead of 20?
teams. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. This Coppa Italia thing sounds
But then how
brutal.
many do you drop out, Omer? Two?
Yeah.
Just two?
Too. Yeah.
What do
I'll
other
tell you
leagues
why.
do?
I
I have
don't.
no idea. Three?
Germany.
Does everybody do
Bundes-
three pretty much?
3 what?
Relegated at the bottom.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Is three
Do
the standard?
5 relegated for all I care, but 18 total teams in the league. I think there's like too much football games anyway, to the point that it's not that exciting. I mean, now I am excited for Juve matches because I have to wait a week between them. And last season I felt choked up. I mean, how many shows did we do here? We had like 9 in a
Uh,
week or something like that.
400? The three of
Yeah,
us did a lot of shows last year.
I don't I don't really see 20 to 18 being a big thing, to be honest. You want less games? Stop this Super Copa tournament nonsense and make it just the
Oh,
champion against the Coppa Italia champion, and do it at the start of the season again or at the end of the season. That'll knock off some games, not have this weird stoppage in the middle of the season. As far as just less games in general, I don't really know. I think it's kind of always been that way though. And I mean, as far as more games, I feel like the international thing has really made it a ton for the players. But I think as far as the
yeah.
league goes and the club and stuff like that, it's fine. But internationally, they'd probably have to look at that more so than they do the leagues, in
But
my
it's not
personal
them.
opinion.
But it's not them. I mean, the international tournaments, that's UEFA. You can't do anything about it.
I
You can only
realize
help
that,
them.
but what I'm saying is what they're doing from a league standpoint right now, like the Super Copa is nonsense. The Coppa Italia is fine. Like, I mean, Juve's played 3 extra games in Coppa Italia right now, and they're in the semifinals. Like, that's not a hindrance, or that's not anything detrimental. To play 3 games in a Coppa Italia, get the semifinals, it'll be a 2-leg thing. I think they should just make it single knockout the whole way, and then play that Coppa Italia final towards the end of the season, as they usually do, is keep it for later. Champions League will always be in that kind of mix
No,
too.
it actually increases now. We have more games. You have like 10 instead of 6. So that's even more Champions League games starting from next season. And there's a little space there in
But
January.
Champions League again that's not something the league can control. So just like we're talking
Yeah.
about international, we're talking
So
about
what?
Champions League. Eventually, if we're
So what
talking
the league
about
can do,
less,
I agree. By
if
the
we're
way,
talking about less football, you know what it's going to come down to is the players forming some type of association and fighting it on their accord. That's what it's going to come down to.
I hope they would.
Otherwise, it ain't going to happen from like, and the league's kind of slowing things down on their end. We'll see what happens. But I don't know. Some of these reforms, kind of strange. Super Copa, they did say no longer Saudi Arabia. Okay, great. USA potentially.
Awesome.
But live VAR, this is a no-brainer. So that the discussions can be heard, aired on broadcasts, and everybody has full transparency as to what is being said and what's going on. And then they can also want to incorporate coaches' challenges, or a team's able to challenge 1 or 2 challenges per matches. This one's kind of weird to me though, because the whole point of VAR is to make the challenges automatic no matter who the club is or whatnot, and no matter how many times when there is reasonable doubt on clear and obvious error. So to have challenges, well, then what the fuck is VAR doing if we have to give coaches challenges? So that's the part that is kind of funny to me. But the discussions absolutely need to be broadcast and everything so that you know what's going on.
I can't remember what game it was. I think it was the Empoli game. Either one. It was one of the last 2 games. There was a deflection out of bounds, and the referee called a goal kick when it should have been a Juventus corner kick. The Juventus player said, "That's a corner kick." The referee went like this, 3 seconds. Oh yeah, it's a corner kick. What?
Yeah.
That's the first time. Has anybody else ever seen that? Like that's what it should do. The VAR should be like, actually, that was a tip. That should be a corner kick. That's taking away an attacking opportunity. Like stuff like that. It just seems like it's no brainers. Just you have the technology. It's just I don't know what other leagues do, but it seems like in Italy we just make it so hard to use new things.
Man, okay, can we talk about this blue card shit? We got to talk about this blue card nonsense.
Okay,
they want to get rid of dissent, so they'll incorporate that with there, but they also want to get rid of the dark arts, the professional fouls, and they want to do this sin bin for 10 minutes like it's hockey, and they want more goals, essentially is what they want. Their prime example for this model is Chiellini's challenge on Saka at the Euros, which was a brilliant professional foul. Yellow card. He would have been off. They would have given him blue on that. He would have been off for 10 minutes, giving England that advantage for that period of time to go at Italy. They probably still would have choked because they suck. But nonetheless,
facts.
I don't like this at all. If you want to shut down dissent, okay? If you want to shut down dissent, flash the card. Flash the card right away and say, you're in control as a referee from the tolerance point of view. So if
that's what they did to Vlahovic in the Inter game.
Exactly. You're in control of that for dissent. As far as these professional fouls, okay, now you're going to open up a gray area. Is it going to be these things, these blue cards, okay? Is it going to be, does it have to be something that's kind of in an attacking range like that, Chiellini? Because there's professional fouls all over the pitch. Are those all going to now become blue cards? And if all of a sudden you're going to say, well, no, this one will be 10 minutes, this one won't be... I'm just going to say it flat out. And this year is prime evidence. These fucking refs across the top 5 leagues are not good enough to have even more on their plate to try and control and manage through a game. I'm at the point where I'm ready to say, be gone with VAR, only use it for offsides, because they can't even get this shit right. We're not playing fucking Uno, okay? Leave it alone. Yellow and red, that's it. That's how I feel about it. But Omer, your thoughts on this blue card? And I know that some leagues are using it right now, and they say, oh, it's not bad, I don't mind it. No, more time wasting, I think, would happen, and the games would be brutal.
Omer?
Yeah, that's just... The issues they're dealing with and the stuff they come up with has nothing to do with reality and what they actually should deal with. I feel like the blue card is just something to have the football world talk about and nothing more. Just another dumb mechanics that no one will understand and will have no defined rules and will cause more havoc than it will solve. And I don't know, shorten the games and stop the clock. Let's talk about that before we add new cards.
Yeah.
And like you get you get 2 in a game. Is that a red card? What happens if you get a yellow and a blue one? Is that a straight red also?
Well, yeah. If you're playing at a disadvantage with another team, say you're one man down, you're probably going to see another professional foul, maybe 2. So now all of a sudden, are you playing 3 guys shorthanded? Are we turning into hockey like full on? What are we doing here? Power plays? Setting up the umbrella outside of the frickin' 18? No, this is crazy. It's.
See, I'll admit, at first I was not totally against it, but the more I, heard these sort of opinions, okay, hang on. What if So I can't remember what manager it was. I saw a manager talk about it, and he said if you were trying to increase goals in the game, we're trying to increase viewership. You put a team 10 to 10 men, they're just going to lock it down for 10 minutes, and you're not going to see any sort of attacking from that team whatsoever. Like, what are we? Like, you're not progressing the game at all. That's that one right there. I was like, oh, that makes a shit ton of sense.
Yeah.
It's not advancing the game at all. I don't see where this advances the game.
So, Chad says blue cards for time wasting only. I'm going to go back to that one. He does say, I agree there isn't anything wrong with football. Ref mistakes are part of the game. Remove VAR and have the same rules for all levels of the sport. Blue card for time wasting only. So this is another one. So if they're trying to clean up time wasting and whatnot, there's a really, really simple way to do that, and that's start the clock. I
Yeah.
think you stop the clock.
There was
I don't
another
think
one.
there's going to be a thing about time wasting.
There was another one I heard about that this weekend. I think they were going to try it in the MLS. If the trainers come out for a player, the amount of time that the trainers are on the field is the amount of time that that player has to stay off.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. And
that
that's,
makes sense.
And that's good too. So a guy goes down, he goes out there, okay, the amount of time you wasted there, you're off for that amount of time. That's fine. That's another angle to it too. But I think stopping the clock and not making it continuous, that'll probably get rid of time wasting.
So
think.
NCAA soccer in the U.S., I'm pretty sure we have people here who've played NCAA soccer. They have a hard clock. Like, it's 90 minutes, and there's a horn that ends the game. There's no added time. I think they have time stoppages, but it's like start stop, like a hockey game.
Yeah.
Which is, I don't know about that. I don't really like that idea. That'd be really weird.
I mean, the handball rule is not defined yet. I feel like it's
There we go.
it's just
figure
random.
that
So yeah, that's another rule. That's again gonna cause more trouble. I don't see it. Just stop the clock. It will solve all of your problems with time
So
wasting.
Forza,
and
you were
everything.
saying, for me, time wasting is a part of the sport. What makes football beautiful is that it has flaws, and that make the viewers and players feel more. You know what? I've never really had a problem. I've never been like, we need to change this when it came to the time wasting and the stuff like that. You've always just kind of accepted it, like, okay, now we know they're going to do this. That team will make their final push, whatever, and they're going to try to just kill clock. And it's up to the ref to kind of manage. But again, it's one of those things where you're leaving it up to an official. And how many times have you been left at a game like, oh, really? He's going to shut it down now? He's not going to account for this and that and this. Like, there's a lot on their minds, and simple things. If there was anything I would do to the game, is not to give these fucking guys more, is to give them probably less. Like,
Yes. And that's what VR is supposed to do.
Stop clock. Here you go. No more continuous clock. You got 4 minutes added time. Okay, 4 minutes with stop clock as well. And there you go.
I will say, Forza Juve, we appreciate all the comments. This is great. We do this for the AJC Army. But I do think that Forza Juve either has never had any gastrointestinal issues or heart problems, because if you've had either one of those, you want less of this shit in the game.
Oh,
Just
man.
saying.
We've been getting a lot of those do or die moments and whatnot. I don't actually, I don't know. Sometimes less is more. When you try to change it too much, it just, it's not arcade style out there, but we'll see. Stop the clock and challenges. Totally for it from Sev. All right.
And of course, shorten the game with it.
Shorten the game.
I don't mind the length of games. They're still
No,
under 2 hours.
but complete 90 minutes of play, I think, will be too much. We already have like 65% of the game played, like 65 or 67 minutes per match in average. That is actual football played.
Yeah.
And the players are broken. So like do 70 minutes and stop the clock, and then you can just adjust the stoppage time and stuff. Like, there's a lot to do. There's a lot that could be done.
And that is a good point, because you get that kind of breakages. You get a lot of time wasting because it's continuous and, go. So, yeah, they use these moments to slow things down. That's kind of an interesting thing to think about. 90 might be too long if you're doing if you're doing a continuous. But
90,
we'll see.
90
We'll
was
see.
too long for over 35s. I'll tell you that much.
Guys.
Oh yeah.
So started to get a picture painted about these young guys at Juventus and bringing up some funds and helping out the case. We got, what do we get? We got 123 million euros still in debt, is what was reported
121,
a few days ago. Okay. But we got, this little break from, I can't remember which outlet. It doesn't really matter regardless. But the 5 names, obviously, were Facundo Gonzalez, Caio George, Dean Huijsen, Barnechea, and Sule, all equaling up to pretty damn close to 100 million euros. And when you're looking at those players, it is pretty damn close. I think the only one that isn't like a pure profit point of view is Facundo Gonzalez, but 100 mil right there on players that are not part of the team this season leaves you very, very close to wiping the slate clean and then moving forward. And this kind of, when this was presented, it kind of opened the eyes to a lot of fans, I think, that were like, oh man, we can't do this, we can't do that. But it was kind of like an eye-opening moment, like, oh wow. Like, yeah, if they're not part of the team right now, you'd hate to see certain guys go. I'm going to say it right now, and I said it there. Like, for me, Facundo Gonzalez, Huijsen, and even Barnechea, I probably don't move. And the only way I move Sule is if we're keeping Chiesa around with Yildiz. But what are your thoughts on pulling the trigger on all those guys and just getting that slate almost cleaned up?
I got a question for you though before we start this, because I think there's going to be some mix up here. How does the potential influx of funds from Exor, is this the same amount? Do those funds from Exor go against the 121, or they have to be considered separate?
No, I'm pretty sure we're at 121 with those funds.
Okay.
Yeah.
My understanding is that the 121 is you have to do what you can through sales, or you can't use an influx of money from your owner to correct that 121. You have to do that yourself on the books.
Yeah.
Well, Juventus can't.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. So getting back to it, I do not see Houston going anywhere. He's the only one on that list. Who else on the Barnechea? A lot of people are high on this Barnechea kid. I don't see it.
I'm high.
No,
on it.
he's good, man.
I don't see too many natural sixes come around that can distribute left and right foot. Like, for me, that's crazy. Like,
even when he played for Juve last year, it didn't seem out of place, like a youngster among men. It kind of suited him. It's nice, and he's having a very good season statistically, even in Europe.
Yeah, but like I
Houston, I wouldn't move Houston.
It's a tough call. You'd move everyone but Huijsen.
Correct.
Yeah, so then you'd be, around 70 total, which is pretty damn good. And then you can make a bigger sale from someone else as well if you had to. But
that kid is
well,
cool.
now we know we had offers from Saudi Arabia for both Kostic and Milik. Like, there are options there to sell other guys, or surplus, or let's say more easily replaceable.
Yeah. And we got comments, obviously, like, backing, like, Huijsen should start next year. I actually think he'll probably be on another loan, to be honest. You got Jorge has been getting on the end of a lot of chances. Would it be in a hurry to move him? Look, you can make a case for every single player that's on that list. Facundo Gonzalez has crazy potential. He's only on a Serie B loan right now. I'd need to see him on a Serie A loan before saying, yeah, absolutely, we should move this guy. But he was highly touted too. Caio George, he's starting to score goals, starting to look good. He needs another loan. They're looking to extend him and loan him out. But the fact still remains, these are guys that aren't part of the group right now. And it goes a long way if you just said, okay, these are the guys we move along. But I think it's going to be a mix from the first team now and some of these youngsters. But I see Juve making moves. Like Ant's been saying, we're sellers this summer. They're going to chew
his
into
first
that.
kid.
Now, somebody brought up the 6 to 700 million euros cash influx. So this is a rumor that came to me Saturday night. So, and I just relay what I'm hearing. Like I said, we just watch what happens. We have fun and whatnot. But what I was told was specific that it's 6 to 700 million euros coming from one of Exor's holding companies. It is not going to be in time for this summer mercado. It is looking to be finalized before October of 2024. Okay. As far as if it's going to go down, what's going to happen, who knows? We could just sit here and wait. There is so much speculation with even Elkan, sponsorships and who's coming in and what's going on. Like I've heard 4 different sponsors already for 4 different values, complete different values. So all we got to do is sit around and just wait and see what happens. But 6 to 700 million of an injection that's payable over a 9-year term. So because you've got to return that. I mean, we're not taking money out of one pocket, putting into another and just saying, okay, be gone with it.
That was my
It's done.
question. Okay.
Yeah. So it's 9-year term in which it would have to go back. So Juve's going to have to really figure out their revenues and their, what they're going to be seeing and making from here on out. But when we talk about these young guys and everything, it's starting to like, I kind of like feel this clash with some fans because this push for the young guys and everything like that. I'm kind of like in this feeling that we're already tipping the scale on the young side right now. And I feel like a typical Juventus side doesn't have the room for all these young guys. And we need to get, strong players coming in here. Coop Miners with a beautiful goal yesterday. Free kick goal. That guy better settle the hell down or that price tag's going to jump up way too far. Okay. But Jorginho being listed again, always added to this target list for Juventus. That's a no from me. Toni Kroos is my pipe dream for Juventus this summer. But he's probably going to extend for one more season at Real Madrid. But I think we need more ready now guys. And they could still be young. But I think they need to be a little bit further along, more polished already and showing more than our guys are. I just think we're tipping the scale to that young side. Do you guys kind of agree or disagree with me? Like, I think some of our guys that are starting now shouldn't start if we get things right and we're moving in the right direction, to be honest. Not knocking anyone on our team, but just being honest. Like, even a guy like McKennie, I think he's a rotational player, a squad player, but he's been doing great this year. He's got his starting role, but I think if Juve is a typical Juve team as far as strength goes, I don't think he's a starter at Juve. But Am I wrong on this one, or do you guys feel the same way or no?
Yeah, maybe we've tipped the scale a bit, maybe a bit too much. Some of that is forced. It's not willingly, just injuries, inability to buy, and stuff like that. But we kind of understood that's the direction Juve have to go right now. And I don't know. I kind of like it, but yeah, if you want like immediate success or like give these guys some winning mentality and get them to win some trophies, a Scudetto here and like some cup there, it should be good for all the youngsters to feel like what it's like to win. And for that, we need some more experienced players. That's why I'm starting to lean towards Coop Miners a bit more.
Yeah, it's and Coop Miners, like the price tag could get a little hefty there, but as far as him and as a player, I think he's probably exactly what we could use and whatnot. I'd still like Samardzic, and I'm hoping we get Samardzic. I don't see any reason why we can't get 2. Rabiot has been a big topic. Renew him or don't renew him. And I've been saying, I flipped a million times, and I'm at the point where I think we'd probably go a little bit further with somebody more technically sound and do that with the midfield. But that's a different topic and everything. But Ant, do you think we've tipped the scale a little bit too much on the youth side?
Well, you look. I just wrote the numbers down quick while you guys were chit chatting there. So these are the ages of just those five that you listed. So Gonzalez is 20, Kyle George is 22, Barnechea 22, Houston 18, Sule 20. It's I'm sort of stuck in the middle a little bit. I know this isn't the answer that you'd want to hear, but for some, it's probably too early to pull the trigger on them either way, and for others, you have to. Like Sule is one I think, unfortunately, is going to get sold. Unfortunately, he's he's going to draw probably the biggest amount of that group. Houston, it's way too early to do anything with him. I agree, maybe a loan next season. I think he's going to be a staple in this defense for many years. At least I hope so. He has the composure of a 40-year-old back there.
Yeah.
So I think the sky's the limit with him. So that's why I would move him. Anybody else? You guys watch more of the Barnechea because I'm not watching Frosinone play. The limited time I saw him at Juventus, okay, but you guys are saying he's performing a lot better. Man, we have tipped the scales, but what was it? 2 years ago, we were sitting on here going, we need youth injection. This team's too old. Now it's like, holy shit, we got too many of these young guys. How do we integrate them properly? And I think a little bit of credit. We have to give Max a little bit of credit because he's done a good job integrating them as much as possible,
Yeah.
getting them playing time with only one and a half competitions. So
So
Juntli's going
Tony
to
Trim
cook this
saying
summer.
Hoyson should be a squad player next season, rotational piece. I have no problem with that. I have
No
no problem
with
with that. You just got to ask yourself the question on how much rotation is going to be in there, and is it more beneficial to have him starting somewhere, right? But I have no problem with him being a squad rotational player for next season, and if he can push for a starting role at that moment, then all the power to him. But this is kind of what my thought process is. It's we've come across this plethora of young players. Okay, plethora from
Plethora?
Three Amigos. El Guapo.
There you go.
Now,
Plethora.
plethora. It's a beautiful sweater. Now,
Don't start.
okay, we.
Sorry.
Sorry, man. Okay, listen. You've come across all these young guys out of financial necessity. We still have to determine what Juve's plan actually is. But for me, like, I don't want to see Juve go down this road where we're playing all these young guys, we're building them up, and like we have like, what are we doing? Are we waiting 3-4 years at every point in turn on young guys to that maybe hit it and maybe don't? I don't think that's the game plan. Like,
It isn't.
we're definitely not like an Ajax or a Dortmund or whatever that's going to get young talent and see what they can do great with them, whatever, and then just sell. Like, I totally believe next gen is a brilliant idea, still a brilliant idea, even as far as bargaining chips go and sales and this cash cow. The young guys could be the cash cow for Juve. They really can.
Exactly what they are.
They can be that cash cow, that steady income that we like to see, and those that are good enough make it and get integrated into the first team. I think right now, due to the necessities, we've seen more than usual, and I think that maybe a lot of people are clinging to that and thinking that this is the way forward. This is what we're trying to do. We're trying to go all young. Like, no, we brought the average age down tremendously. But another thing to look at with that is that a lot of those older guys were on big contracts. And that's one of the biggest things we cleaned up financially. And we're still working on cleaning up, which is the salaries. But I don't think the game plan is to have that many young guys in there that aren't at least polished or proven in some kind of capacity. You're still going to get young players, but I don't think the idea, like Agnelli stated, was, oh yeah, 8 will be integrated like probably annually. No, and I would fucking hope not, to be honest. That's just me.
That's a lot.
That's just me. Omer?
That's a lot.
No, nothing to add, actually. That's pretty spot on. I just don't want to become Barcelona when you rely on 16-year-olds because they're
Yeah.
your best players. I mean, you gotta stop before you reach that point. That's like tipping the scale too much.
Yeah. Now,
Well, just look at the smoke, right? Where there's smoke, there's fire. I know Felipe Anderson's and name's been thrown around. Tony Cruz. I think they're going to be going after some sort of journeyman, a couple journeymen to help out with the locker room, to help out on the field, and then just integrate, sort of
Well,
late
maybe
20-year-olds and a couple youth in there.
maybe
so
Icardi's name will pop up again.
Yildiz and Huijsen are
It
the
will.
only Juve level talents. Left Sule out there, and that's going to probably fire up some. But I actually agree with Forza Juve here that those are the two that I think are Juve level talents out of that group. And I agree with Ant that I
Hard to
wouldn't
argue.
move Huijsen. I also wouldn't move Facundo Gonzalez. And I could open up to moving Barnechea. But no, and like I said, with Sule, if we keep Chiesa and we have Yildiz around, I'm selling Sule. Like, he's got to be 45 million right now. Like 45 million. Pure profit. Bye-bye. Bye-bye. That's me, okay? As far as we brought up Hans Nicolucci Caviglia. So, an interesting one here because...
Where's that guy?
So this guy, I feel like Juve's going to have to make a decision. And the reason I say this is because some fans are saying, yeah, we should send Caviglia out on loan. Like, no, we're done. If he goes out on another loan, it's done. Pull the plug. Sell. Because this is ridiculous. You can't keep all these young guys. But he's in and around now. I think he should be getting some more minutes this season. I think there were games where our left side was brutal, and I would have tried other alternatives that would have incorporated him in the midfield. I still think McKennie does his best work at wing back rather than in the midfield, but it is what it is. But if you're going to send Hans Nicolucci Caviglia out on a loan, which some fans have suggested for next year, then just sell him. Like, that's how I
He's
feel
been
with
around
this
a
guy.
long time, that kid. And he's only 23, but it feels like he's been here longer than Sandro has.
Yeah, like if he's 23, like if you're going to do that again, then you might as well just sell him. But I think I'd keep him around, to be honest. Omer, agree, disagree?
I would like to keep him around, but I think he will be sold. I don't think he'll go on another loan, and you can't. You just run out their contracts. Eventually, they leave for free. You got to make a decision. You can't keep loaning and extending them,
Yeah.
and then ending up with another Piazza on your hands.
Where was
Man, Piazza, Jesus.
is he still on contract? Is he back this summer?
Who?
Piazza?
No. I think it ended. I think it finally...
To be honest, I have no idea. I'm just
honestly-
waiting for the
No, it's
photos
done.
from-
He's not coming back this summer. Like, it's gone.
Okay.
It's done. It's the
You not even
first
for a
summer
visit?
we will not see Piazza return in the summer and be like, oh shit, there he is. The Moose.
Yes, is back.
The Moose. Now,
Back
let's
again.
get to Udinese, Juve, okay, this game. So, Udinese winless in their last 5. 1 win, 6 draws, 4 losses away from home, okay? They're going to be mirroring us in a 3-5-1-1. Lovric, Samardzic, and Tovan are going to be their creative forces. They have Luca up front, which has given them sign of life this season as far as scoring goals before he kind of came into the mix there. But he's going to have his hands full with Bremer. He fits the profile that Bremer just chews up and spits out. He's going to have a long day at the office today. As far as shutting out the other guys, I think Juve will do it. And I do expect Juve to control this game. If they're getting bossed around here, I won't really like it, especially playing at home. For Juve, we're pretty much full strength. Danilo is going to be out with suspension.
Suspended.
Our probable lineup, Szczesny, Gatti, Bremer, Alexandro making his 320th appearance, tying David Trezeguet, and 7 away from Pavel Nedved for a foreigner.
And we have 15 games left. He's gonna pass.
Yeah.
He's gonna pass Nedved.
Yeah, he's been here for too long.
That's not starts. That's just appearances, right?
Appearances, yeah.
Yeah, he's gonna pass Nedved.
Weah,
Son of a bitch.
McKennie, Locatelli, Rabiot, Cambiaso, Milik, Chiesa. All right, so that rounds out.
Vlahovic has been confirmed out of the lineup.
Yeah,
Yeah, he's not
guys,
even called up.
you know what? Take it to them. Schmooze Samardzic and his father, take them around, show them the tour, maybe take them to Nedved's local watering hole there, show them a good time. A couple of the ladies of the night. I don't know. Do whatever you got to do. Let's get Samardzic in there next season. I'd love to see him join, but this game's got to be a straightforward one for Juventus. Coming off the defeat there, coming off a lot of, criticisms and everything going around right now. You just got to get back to winning. Max saying, you got to keep tight at the top. For those that, were banking on Roma to do something, you just never bank on Roma for anything. Never bank on any of the Chihuahuas out there. All we got to do is focus on ourselves, get the most amount of points. Milan's in good form, getting results and whatnot, but whether you're second, third, whatever, for us, finish strong, keep tight at the top. Champions League will kick in. You just never know what'll happen, but this one absolutely has to be a victory, and I do expect Alcaraz to come in at some point in this game. We were hearing about a 3-4-2-1 being played in this game. I absolutely would have gone with it even from the start. I would have had no problems with it. Do you guys agree?
Yeah. I think we've been kind of chasing that for a while.
Yeah.
I want to see it more and more.
If you're gonna do it, this is the game to do it.
Yeah, and I mean, we'll probably rotate. I would expect us to rotate into that at some point this game, especially with the fact you've got Yildiz and Alcaraz on the bench and whatnot. But I wouldn't be surprised if we rotate into it at some point this game. But to start, I probably even would have started with this one. Now, Max said that Alcaraz isn't ready to start. He obviously didn't elaborate as to why or whatnot, but I don't really get it. Because if you're going to play him at some point in a game, like if you can play in there in a game, then you could start the game, right? Like it's kind of a weird one to me. Even if we're talking about integration or whatnot, like, okay, if you're integrated enough to come on as a substitute, I think you're integrated enough to start. Am I wrong in thinking that?
No, that's just not Max's way. I mean, he would do that if that's like a 70 million signing, but usually he likes to ease in players, and it's easier with the young guys on loan. They don't expect to immediately play. But like a Vlahovic signing, he'll start the next match from the first minute.
Yeah. Need to be patient with Alcaraz coming in there from Rafael.
F that S. Put him in the lineup. F that S. Play the man.
Play him from the start. Fire away.
45 minutes. If I see Meretti before that guy,
oh man,
lose it. Lose it.
It's funny. I think we should talk about this just a little bit because Suarez and Roma showed more guts than we did against Inter and whatnot. Now,
I was doing laundry, missed it.
There's a lot of people that were putting out the comments of just, look at Roma and look at De Rossi and look at this and everything. And it's like, to me,
they lost, right?
You lost.
Oh,
so
okay. Got it.
Juve didn't have balance across their game. I totally believe Juve should have been more aggressive in the first half. But I think the end result still would have been the same just because we're not complete from left to right. And Inter, as much as it sucks to fucking say, you guys, they are poised and they are calm. They're experienced and it's coming through. They're finding ways. They're finding where to hurt teams. And De Rossi's side, okay, that's great. They went at him, but he could have used a little bit of Max in that second half. And Max could have used a little bit of the De Rossi side in the first half of our games. But at the end of the day, both teams are wrong because both lost the game. So it's like...
Inter could have put 4 past us too. Don't kid yourselves.
They could have put 4 past us. They could have put... Well, they did put 4 past them. It's just, again, a preference thing or whatnot. But this thing, I prefer going out in a fighting manner, a fighting style and whatnot. But at the same time, like, you do have to factor in what this other team does, what they're doing. I've said it for a while. I've said it for quite some time now. When everybody was saying our play is not sustainable, I said, I can 1000% see why we do it, because of our deficiencies. We are completely set up to try and minimize our deficiencies that creep up time after time after time. And that is how bad we are in and around the final third and coughing the ball up, brutal giveaways, and letting teams turn at them. Roma kind of did that and played into Inter's hand. That's the thing with Inter. They're happy if you come at them and press them. Like, they're fine with it because they're so comfortable on the counter. And if you don't want to do that, if you want to shell up, they are absolutely fine coming at you and taking the game to you. And if you take away the middle of the park, no problem. We'll do it on the outsides, and we'll send our outside center backs too and give you more bodies to try and handle. Like,
maybe that's the inexperienced side of the Rossi. They let it all out like in the first 60 minutes, and then they just couldn't hold up. That's something Max wouldn't do.
Yeah,
that's a bit more of experience. Yeah, they didn't play bad, but gotta hand it to Inter, man. They seem to find a way. Everything seems to work.
It sucks to say, but that's a complete team. They're on the potential to break our 102 points. Like, it's crazy. They could break the clean sheet record. It sucks. I fucking hate it, everybody. But real is real. They're complete. Like, they are.
Yeah, they can't drop more than 4 points in the last 14 games.
I'm not like, because we are all fino alla fine, so I'm not giving up on Scudetto in February. But it seems to all be going well for them. Every piece just falls into place, and they manage to find ways to win even tough games. I mean, you can't compete with that.
Momentum is a funny thing, though. One injury, maybe one key injury that
could happen.
What?
Could happen. The only advantage I give us above them is the options in attack. Like, they're heavily reliant on Lautaro.
Yeah.
And he's like always available, but Alexis and Arnautovic, that's coming from Inter fans. Like, we can't play with these guys. If it's either Thuram or Lautaro is out, that changes the team drastically.
Yeah, and because Thuram's missed quite a few chances. He's had a strong season. He's having a good season. He's missed quite a bit. Lautaro is, they're very reliant. And
the numbers,
who knows?
The numbers are there. I mean, best defense in the league, best attack in the league. I mean, they deserve to be on top based on what's going on now.
For us, it's not worrying about anything on the outside. Game by game and 3 points. Got to take it. Just got to keep going and moving forward. Today, it is what it is. Has to be 3 points. Can't be anything different. Prediction challenge time, everybody, and then storm the barn. Final score, 2 tiebreakers. Juve, Udinese. What do you got? Anth, kick us off.
Well, I'm going to hit you with some data first. Everybody wants some data. I'll give you the referee stats first. So today, our old friend Rosario Abiso is the referee. He's done 97 Serie A matches. He's right there with the other referees. Averages 4.8 yellows per game, 23 reds and 38 PKs in those 97 matches. I don't know if he's done our games before. He has. He's been around. So hopefully that's not an issue. Now, I've done some other addition, subtraction. Against the bottom 7 teams in Serie A this season, Juventus is 9 wins, 1 draw, and a loss. So that draw was against Empoli. The loss was obviously against Sassuolo. In those games, so that's 11 games, we have 20 goals for 8 against. Obviously, we had 4 against Sassuolo, and we also have 4 games with 1 against and 4 clean sheets in those 11 games against the bottom 7 teams. So I thought it was going to be worse than that, but we do fairly well against these teams this season. Surprising enough, the middle 7 were 5-1. In the top 6, we are 2 wins, 3 draws, and a loss. But anyways, against the bottom 7, we should be able to handle our business today. Juventus at home actually has the best goals against average, Omer. We only have 5 against at home, 17 goals for at home. We're 8 wins, 3 draws, no losses at home. We're the only team with no losses at home. So moving to the bets today, I am going to go with 2-0 victory at home. That's plus 470 for that scoreline. I'm going to go with Rabiot and Chiesa as our goal scorers. Rabiot plays plus 350. I'm not sure what Chiesa plays. As a tiebreaker, here's one for you. This is a plus 700 bet. Juve to win each half and Juve to have most corner kicks in each half. Plus 700.
Ooh.
So I'm going to say 1-0 at halftime, 2-0 final score.
All right. All right.
Boom.
Okay.
I know it's a lot. I threw a lot at you. Deal with it.
Oh no, I don't care about your stats. I'm more of a gut instinct guy. Maybe that's why
More of
I'm
a
wrong
gut
most
guy.
of the time.
He's a gut guy.
Yeah, a gut guy. Yeah, maybe that's why I'm wrong a lot. I mean,
Just be what you've
2-0 sounds good.
Yeah.
Yeah, sounds
What?
about right. 2-0 sounds good, but no, I don't want to go with the same one as Ant. You know what? I never guess like a 1-0 score, so I'll go with that. Juve wins by 1 goal, scored by Cambiaso.
I had 1-0, but I'm like, man, Udinese stinks. I really see a second, but I can totally see this one going 1-0 as well. That's plus 450, I think. That score.
I'm gonna tell you guys something, okay? For Juve, now the prediction's coming in. We gotta win. We just gotta focus on ourselves. But March will be the month where Inter starts to skid, okay? Like the skid marks on the underpants of Serie A that they are. They will start to skid
That is
in March,
gross.
okay?
That's
What?
gross.
Okay.
It's hilarious.
But
Okay,
true.
why?
The
Why?
Merda Zuri? Come on. It's a fucking
No,
skid
not
marks.
why. That's gross. Why is March the...
March will be the month. I'm just telling you. I'm looking at that for them, and I know that people will probably look at it and think, oh, it's not going to be a big... It is going to be a big one, and I'll tell you why. So, Atletico Madrid, second leg, smack dab in the middle of that month. Genoa and Bologna, the first two opponents leading into that game. Napoli on the back side of it as well. As whatever we think of Napoli or whatever, is still going to be a game that they could potentially lose. Genoa has been a bitch to play against as of lately, and if anything, it's going to be physical. And they can, who knows what happened? Injury, they're going to be looking after themselves with, 9 days to that second leg against Atletico. Bologna is like the bogey team for Inter. So, again, for us, and they've got that 28th leading into that, February 28th, the end of this month. That's the Atalanta replayed game, which I'm telling you, Atalanta's still a clown show, but on fire. And Lookman will be back. That's not a gimme. I'm telling you. March will be the month where we can gain ground for us. 3 points everywhere until then. Key stats going into this one. Juve have won their last 8 home matches against Udinese in all competitions. Udinese have failed to win 25 of their last 27 matches in Serie A. Holy shit. Juve have kept a clean sheet in their last 4 matches against Udinese in all comps. 14 goals have been scored in the last 6 meetings between these two sides. Juve have picked up 4 wins and a draw from their last 6 league matches. I am going with a Juventus win. It is going to be 2-0. It's going to be a 2-0 victory for Juventus. And Federico Chiesa will be one of your goal scorers today. Okay? So 2-0. Chiesa finds one. And... oh, you guys ready for this one? Alexandro in his game-tying 320th appearance with David Trezeguet.
You crazy son of a bitch. You went there
Will
and did
get
it.
himself an assist in this game. All right? So, Alexandro in his 320th appearance getting an assist. 2-0.
Okay.
2-0.
Any idea on the second goal scorer?
McKennie. He's due.
He needs one. God
needs
damn it,
one.
he needs one.
Like a crackhead needs a hit, you guys. This guy needs a goal. So let's see what happens.
He really,
now,
really needs one.
Aldo coming in 3-1. Swati, 3-0 or 4-1. Oh, yeah. Bring on the goals. Bring on the goals. Rafael, a little bit more. 2-1.
Settle down, everybody. 2-1.
Moran coming in here 3-0. Let's go. 3-0. And an Alexandro hat trick. Easy, Aldo. Come on. Take it easy. I'm not going that crazy. I'm just saying he's going to get an assist. I'm not saying he's going to, bag a worldie here. Just an assist. Neville, though, is going to say 2-0 with a Sandro goal. Love it. Let's go.
Okay.
All right, everybody. We do have time. Storm the barn. Okay? I'm going to tackle some of these. Adam coming in here with his 2-1. All right? We got time for Storm the Barn. There was some further up. I think the chat has kind of gone beyond because there was so much, but I'll take it with the first one I see. And if yours was before this one, then just fire it in again. Name 3 clubs that need Chiesa. His profile the most. Oh, so I'm going to tell you this. When we get talking about Chiesa and selling him and whatnot, all the other fans want him. The Napoli fans want him. The Milan fans want him. The Roma fans want him. Like, they want Chiesa. Like, it's... if I'm going to name 3 clubs, are we talking, like, global? Or are we talking Serie A? Omer?
I don't see him staying in Italy if he gets sold.
Really?
Who the hell is...
I can't see him going to England. I really can't. I can't see that.
Who the hell is going to pay for him in Italy? What are we even talking about?
Yeah. Well,
Inter. That's it.
Yeah.
Inter won't go after him.
Right?
But I can't see him going to England. It's weird. It's weird to me.
I think Barcelona will suit him great, and he'll suit them. And yeah, they desperately need some wingers. And Milan actually to replace like Pulisic because he's a bit more injury prone and aging. So yeah, someone to complement Leao. And third club, maybe. I mean, the big clubs are so stacked with players in every position that no, it's not Paris Saint-Germain. United could use anyone, but I guess they'll destroy even Pele if he came to play for them today.
Look at that. The 3 teams that need him, Juventus, and Juventus from Suarez. He just loves it.
Yeah, well, that's a given.
It's there's going to be
Tottenham
teams.
can probably use him.
Yeah, Tottenham and frickin' Paratici loves the sloppy seconds from Juve, so he can have it. I don't want to see Chiesa go, but I'm starting to kind of see that. I believe absolutely nobody out there has any fucking clue what Juventus is going to do this summer.
We talked about this in the group chat a little bit, and I think it's unfortunate that some people... Well, hang on. Let me rephrase that. I feel bad for the Juventus insiders because I don't think they're getting anything out of Giuntoli's crew right now. No. Agresti, Mirko. We like those guys. Friends of the show. But I think everything's buttoned up tight at Juventus. They're not getting any news coming out.
Like, Skira has been really good for several years now. And he's kind of like struggling a bit with it too. And he's not really on a lot of the stuff. But he was on the midfielder thing. And then I caught wind out of Turin going into that weekend when we brought in... that signing Alcaraz on the top side of that week. I was hearing the same thing. It was just like, no, Juve's going hard trying to bring in a midfielder. And we all immediately jump on the names we've been hearing. But then out of nowhere, you get Alcaraz. And this is kind of the unknown you're dealing with Giuntoli. Mirko Di Natale said yesterday that he gave us the 4 players on his list, Saliba, Cariolo, Sander Berge, and then Papi Diallo. But immediately people look at Saliba, they're like, there's no chance we're getting him. That's not what he's saying. He's just saying that Alcaraz and Thiago Giallo were also on that same list. So it appears that Giuntoli is working with guys he's still been monitoring from his time there, and now just looking at which ones are going to help and suit what Juve's trying to do. I think if anybody's got an inkling into what he was kind of looking at there, you're going to kind of be ahead of the game in terms of trying to figure out what the hell Juve's going to do. Otherwise, I don't think any of these guys have a fucking clue, man. And when we talk about the young guys, the amount of money they could bring in, I can't rule anything out. Chiesa sale, Vlahovic sale maybe? Like, can't rule anything out. I'm not ruling anything out. Who knows? Who knows? But let's keep it going with Storm the Barn. It's playing with a back three that much different from a back four. If the formation changes next year, I hear stuff about Bremer not being able to play in a back four. Is it really that much difference? Your duties change for sure in terms of back four and back three. I think your pairing matters tremendously more in a back four pairing than it does in your back three. It's still important. It's still crucial, but I think it's really important that who he's paired up with matches very, very good from a chemistry point of view, because of that much more communication has to happen when you're in a back four between those two guys. But do I have fears of Bremer in a back four? I actually don't. I don't.
Neither do I. It's the fullbacks that we have an issue with.
Yeah, I don't have, and we're going to see it soon with Brazil too, because Brazil is always back four, and he is going to start playing for that national side, and it is going to be in a back four. But the ball playing ability becomes heightened from your CBs. That's why the pairing is crucial, because if you're going to go down to, you can get away with it with the three, because you can split them and they can get narrow if they have to, and you can work it more with an outsides. That's why you can use a hybrid outside as a center back, a guy like Danilo, etc., that can get in there. But in a back four, I'm never putting Danilo as one of your center backs in a back four. Like, I'm just not doing that. I don't see it working out too well. But yeah, it does change. Not drastically, but it could be drastic if you get the pairing wrong. Like, some people were ready to go Gatti and Bremer, and I was like, no, I wouldn't do it. I would not do that. But
the thing is, it will take some patience, and because there will be growing pains. It wouldn't be perfect right off the bat. They need to learn to play together. So are we ready for that? Are we going to ask to revert back to three-man defense the second it goes wrong? And now, look, we've seen Chiellini. He played left back, then he moved to center back in four-man back line, then that legendary trio, then back to a two-man. I mean, it can be done. It's not impossible. They just need to learn to do it. So, yeah, I'm not buying he can't. At the age of 25, he can't play 1 meter to the left.
It's over. That's it.
Yeah.
He'll never grow. And we're not taking a shot at you, but just some people out there do think that he will never be able to play in a back four. It's like, okay.
Poor guy.
Positionally, in general, it makes me laugh because, like, Chiesa is a prime example. You know, oh, Max is stupid. Max is an idiot. He's playing him second striker. What the fuck's he doing? Like, what are we doing? He starts off the season absolutely red hot with Vlahovic, and he's playing second striker, because for me, if you're a forward, that's not a big change. Like, you're playing either on the wing, you're playing second striker. Like, if you're a forward in general, you could pretty much play anywhere across the top outside of a striker. And some
especially for Max.
And some can even do that, okay? Some can even do that as well, depending on what the duties are with the rest of because some strikers have to play back to goal and be a pivot. Some can play a little bit different if they have a two-man pairing and whatnot. But to be honest, it's not that drastic a change. But then he gets a stoppage in play, his numbers aren't good, and then all of a sudden it goes back to this positional thing. Well, no, the position wasn't a problem when he was red hot at the start of the thing. It's not a problem now. These guys, when you're asking small little shifts, we're not talking about taking Chesney and playing him at right fucking wing. You're talking about a center back and taking him from a 3-man back to a 4-man back. And I laugh when it's like, no, they can't do that. You can't do that. Yeah, of course you can. These guys, do you think growing up all those years they played one spot and one spot only? Like, no. First and foremost, you're a footballer, especially over there. Like, we teach that out here in North America. Out there, first and foremost, you're a footballer, okay? And you've played multiple roles, multiple positions, but when you're asking a center back just to still be a center back from back 3 to back 4, it's nothing. When you're asking a winger to just play as second striker, still have that freedom to drift off to the wing, like, look at his heat maps. He's still going to where he wants to go. Nothing is dictated. Like, Chiesa pretty much has freedom in that role. These guys can do it.
Yeah.
These guys
Especially for Max, because defending for Max is really, you have to know where to be and who covers and who steps up and who drops back. But in attack is a bit more like, free roaming. Just, hang around the area, do what you can. That's always been his style. So, yeah, Chiesa, I mean, it doesn't really matter. He will get pulled to the left because that's where he's comfortable no matter where you put him. That's the feeling.
Pogba comes back and looks like he did before we sold him to United and doesn't get injured every game anymore. What do you do at the end of the season?
There's a lot of ifs. It's a lot of big ifs in there. Shit. Oh. I'm all about keeping that big old son bitch. I'm about keeping him on the roster. This guy is not. He walks into this midfield.
Done. What are we talking about? He comes back. What we're talking about, like, he stays fit for 6 games. That's like I'd expect that from anybody. So it's not going to change my mind.
When's that court date? That's this week, isn't it? Or 19th?
The 15th, I believe. Yep. So it's this week.
Yeah, Thursday.
Guys, Paul Pogba, like, it's done. It's done. That is a ticking time bomb, okay? And like,
you're so goddamn negative sometimes.
He gets in there. He's got 6 games left. He stays fit for those 6 games. That's a record for the past 3 years. Congratulations.
True.
But
congratulations.
I can't, man. I can't. We need him. You gotta find a way out and move forward. It's just been a nightmare. It's been a nightmare of a return. It wouldn't change my mind. Omer?
Yeah, no, sell him whenever you can to whoever you can. Yeah. I feel like it's done too. Then, like, can't milk that cow anymore. And I just don't see him getting back.
There's a couple good squeezes out of that teat still. Don't kid yourselves.
And for God's sakes, take the number 10 back. Just take the number 10 back and leave it vacant. All this talk about Yildiz, no, leave it vacant.
Never, ever give it to anybody ever again. No one gets it.
No. Let's not get crazy. Let them earn it. Let it be earned. But this talk about Yild, way too soon. Way too soon.
It. Somebody brought that up earlier. I don't know who that was.
You know what? And I want to talk about this. So Pogba, I mean, Ant says keep him around. Omer and I are no.
Keep milking those teats.
Those teats are dry, buddy. There ain't shit there.
Okay. Dry as a desert, man. There's nothing there.
Yeah.
Just a barren
I got
wasteland.
nipples, Fokker. Can you milk me?
Easy.
Can I?
Easy. All right.
We'll do that on chat later.
Holy Christ.
So what were you saying?
Okay.
The number 10?
The number 10. Yildiz. Mm-hmm. I actually said this in our AJC Army chat over the weekend there, and I said I almost feel like
powdered milk
because it's been used like a marketing ploy. The 10 has been used as a marketing ploy, essentially. But outside of these guys, okay, like Tevez did it well, and there was a fuss raised about Tevez getting it when he came in. Okay,
he earned it, that son of a bitch.
He earned it. He earned it. But he was given it first as a new signing, still a marketing thing, but he earned it. Dybala was given it. Some say he did it justice. Others think not because of how things finished and what happened. Whatever. I think from a performance standpoint, I think he earned it.
He scored over 100 goals.
Take it easy.
No, he earned it. I'm saying Dybala earned it.
Yeah, I know, but take it easy. Take it easy. aggressive undertones. And then you
Maybe it's
you
my
got
microphone.
Yildiz now set to get. I feel like this.
Mm-hmm.
Leave it vacant. For God's sakes, take it away from Paul Pogba. If he comes back for the rest of the season, he could wear number 78. The amount of minutes, I'm hoping he goes uninjured. He can get that. Leave it vacant. And as a marketing ploy, how epic would that be when somebody finally does earn it because you've left it vacant, and then it's like, boom, now this guy's earned it. Now he gets the 10. That's a bigger boom for me rather than giving it to the next guy up, the next new signing, so on and so forth. And I also feel it's a little bit disrespectful to the guys that wore it, like Platini, Baggio, Del Piero, etc., to just use it as simply a marketing ploy. So I feel like it's a little bit of a disrespect to the legends. I might be alone in that, but I kind of see it that way.
Look, I think it's kind of just something that is slowly dying with football. The number 10 in general, like the meaning behind it for all teams. Like if we go through the big teams, can you name, I don't know, Bayern's number 10, Real Madrid's number 10? Okay, it's Modric, but I don't think players
Harry
wearing it
Kane.
now. Yeah, but Harry Kane
Harry
is not
Kane.
at Tottenham anymore. He was 10 at Tottenham. It's Leroy Sané for Bayern.
Okay, yeah. But what I'm saying
I
is,
think
it's
the
not a
number
positional
7 has
thing.
become.
Everybody holds it to positions, half positions, and Lou and I had this argument in the chat, and I'm like, I get what you're saying, but it still represents, for the most part, one of your best players on the pitch. That's what it really represents. It doesn't represent that position. It's just that naturally the best who have done it have been those half kind of hybrid forward players. But it does represent a number that usually is your best player on your team. And that's kind of a standard that's gone through all clubs. So,
Best attacking player.
yeah,
Because
best
our best
attacking
players are in
player.
defense.
But it's a number that is usually synonymous with your best attacking players. The role itself as a 10 and the change and all that has nothing to do with it. It's still
No,
a number 10.
no, I'm not talking about the role. I don't
Yeah.
care about the role. The role is gone. I'm talking about the aura around the number 10 and what it represents for teams.
It's
Like,
still their best.
I don't feel like it is. I feel like the 7 has taken over.
But I think that
'Cause-
depends on who your club is. Like,
Yeah,
us,
so for
10
Italian
is
teams,
huge.
it kind of means more than for the rest of the world. But I started
7
by
doesn't
saying I
mean
feel
shit
like
to
it's
Juventus.
dying down.
7 doesn't
I
mean
feel like
shit
it's
to
dying
Juve.
down.
10
To us,
means a
no,
lot to
nothing.
Juve. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and I feel like it's dying down and slowly disappearing.
But
Because they're
why?
chipping it
Because
with
it's
using
been
it as a marketing ploy, yeah.
exactly.
And I
So it's
don't see
still
it getting better.
so we still come around to the same thing. Do you give it to Yildiz? I say no. I say you leave it vacant and make it mean something again.
Oh no, don't give it to them this right away. Definitely not. I have no problem with it being vacant. Like,
Yeah.
you don't have
No,
to have
leave it
someone
vacant.
wear-
Let it be earned. Let it be
Yeah.
earned. But it does mean something, and it should mean something to Juventus. Otherwise, yeah, it is disrespectful to those guys. I see it that way. Anth, where do you stand?
Yeah, no, I disagree. Like, who gives a shit? It's just a number. Like,
It isn't just a number.
Those guys wore it. I think I'm sort of with Omer here. I think I'm going to take Omer's point to an extreme. It's so watered down now. Like, who wears it? Who wears what number? I don't really give a shit. If somebody wears it or if it's vacant, I don't care.
Oh man,
I really, really don't care.
the guys that did so much for it, I can't see
The
it
guys
handed
did
out.
it.
Handed
The
out
guys did it,
willy
not
nilly.
the number.
Paul Pogba, that
Not
comes
the number on
back,
the back.
has been nothing but a fucking nightmare, and he gets
It's not
the
number on
10.
the back.
He is
Doesn't
the
matter.
10. He is representing Juve. He's been nothing more than a model. Okay?
Doesn't matter what the number
It's
is
a
on the back of the
fucking
jersey.
joke.
It's the crest on the front. Doesn't matter the number on the back. I didn't even know Pogba had the 10. I had totally forgot because the numbers
Let's start
don't
a
matter.
trend. Let's start
Oh,
a trend. Let's
doesn't even
change it
matter.
just to let's scrap the numbers and start with shapes. And like triangle on the
You
back.
guys are fucking brutal today. Holy shit.
Yeah.
Shapes, numbers, no numbers. Number doesn't matter. Oh my God. We might as well piss on the history of Juventus. No, my numbers
stop your
matter.
No, let's move to
It's
Roman
important.
numbers.
It's important. And it does matter. And like I said, respect is key. Has Chiesa earned the number 10? No.
I got one for you. I got one.
No.
You know what Voltaire said? Voltaire said, nothing is as important nothing is as good or as bad as it seems. This is just somewhere in the middle. It's not
Has
that bad.
Has Chiesa earned the number 10?
Who cares?
No. History matters. Respect for your legends matters. Period. Has Chiesa earned the number 10? Yes or no? No.
No.
No. No. Has he?
No, he hasn't. Great.
How can you say no, though, if a number doesn't matter?
Whatever. Yes, he has earned it. Just give it to him if he wants it. Who cares? I want him on the field. That's what I want.
7 has been worn by the GOAT.
He could have a big poop
Padua.
emoji on the back of his jersey. I don't give a shit. I want him starting. I don't care what's on the back of his jersey.
Pesotto wore number 7 too, actually. Delivio? Was Delivio 7? Delivio wore 7.
Yeah, the Livio was 7.
Yeah.
Also, Salihamidzic was a 7.
Oh, man. Okay, X to score 20 goals and assists, 15 assists with 21 on his, but 21 is also a legendary number with Juventus. What are we talking about? Pirlo, Zidane. Dybala wore 21 when he first came.
For a long time. Yep.
Come on. Let's go.
Yeah.
Let's go. Anyways, God, you guys, getting too fired up over numbers, but I just feels disrespectful to legends. That's all.
We're getting fired up.
That's all.
What?
Yeah, you guys are getting fired up. I never get fired up.
Settle down.
So, you guys, Udinese, today we all call the victory. It's got to be a win. We got to keep it going. Don't worry about what's happening on the outside matches, everything like that. Worry about ourselves. Take care of business. Max Allegri, man, we're never going to get away from the rumors with this guy and what's going to happen at season's end. I just want to get your feel. What you guys think is actually going to go down? Do you actually think Max is not going to be the coach after this season, Anth?
I don't think he's going to be. I think he's earned the right to go into his final year. I think he's earned the right to have a contract extension. I don't disagree with that. But pure feel, gut feeling, gastrointestinal guy on the other side over there, gut feeling, I don't think he's the manager next year.
Yeah.
I just think they want to move in a different direction. That's a
gut guy. What's your gut telling you on this one?
It changes like a roller coaster. I feel like he's staying, then he's leaving, and the reports are kind of confusing me because they're very contradictory. But I said a couple of months ago on one of our shows that I don't see him just getting into that final year without confirmation of another year, a new contract. Yeah. So either he leaves by himself at the end of the season, or he extends, but there's no way he goes into that season just like that to the end of his contract. And my guess is he'll stay.
Do you guys find it weird that it's Juve doesn't want to go? Because the reports are very specific from certain journalists saying that Juve does not want to go into the final contract year with a manager, any manager. But is it that big a thing? You'd still have that year to kind of plan for beyond whether you're otherwise are you not kind of in the same boat? You're either getting rid of him abruptly to avoid a final contract year or have that final contract year to look beyond. Doesn't that seems weird to me. I think
I don't see how it's bad for the club.
Yeah, it doesn't really make sense to me. It's okay, you're either doing it abruptly because you want to avoid a final year or prepare through that final year for beyond.
Is there a thinking that a manager will manage differently knowing he doesn't have a job in the summer? He'll make some decisions, just say, if I get, I don't maybe. Really get he's
I
right.
Don't
if you don't
so.
have,
if you really want to be a professional that works for the best clubs, you gotta have that. You can't just go fuck it whenever
Yeah.
you want because the contract's not all right.
But
No
there
I
one
is
think that's
takes
something
the
to
it
say for
fear.
that
That's
because
the
Ant's
fear,
right.
though.
There's a lot of companies like guys turn in notice or whatever, and they just say, "See you later." Like, don't even care about the
Again,
3 weeks, the 1 month you're giving me. Like, you're gone.
Yeah,
not
but
to
they're
say that
not
Max
getting
would do
paid
that.
9 million.
Yeah.
Not to say that Max would do that, but there's a fear of that not all decisions will be made with the best interests of the club long term. Right? He's just going to make decisions for the now, not for the long term. Not to say Max would do that, but I think that's the fear when you have a coach with no extension.
Look, my feeling is that Juventus can't afford to take like a risk. They need to have like a set plan. Like they
That's a good
can't,
point.
maybe from their point of view, can't bet on like Mota or all those young
Yep.
names we're associated with. Maybe in like 2 years, 3 years, they have like the financial balance to go with that in that way. But right now, if anyone replaces him, I think they'll go for safety and just Conte
Yeah.
straight
It's a
up. The
good point because
easiest
it
choice to
almost
take him.
feels like Juventus is riding on an edge right now, right? Like Max has brought us back to some sort of level of respectability, and it's like if you bring in a manager who can't manage the young and the old players or manage the lineup, and comes in brings a 4-3-3, and not everybody can play it. It feels like Juve can tip off that edge pretty
Yeah.
easily.
Yeah, and we saw at Pirlo. I mean, his season had an effect on the future way that Juve worked, and players who came in and gone, and yeah, we're still sort of licking those wounds
Yeah.
financially, mainly.
Yeah. And then wrap up on this. Oh my God, Messi or Ronaldo. Look, it's gonna be really boring, but both. It's incredible
I'll take both.
to be able to witness what we have for that long out of these two. You'll probably never see it again. I don't expect to see it ever again in my lifetime.
Yep.
Incredible. But gun to my head, if I was like starting a team with one of these guys in their prime, I'm gonna lean towards Messi, and I would pick Messi myself personally. But I've enjoyed the both of them going toe to toe for how long? Like now, it's kind of ended now with Messi being
16 years.
MLS and Ronaldo
Something
obviously
like
in
that.
Saudi, but it's been one hell of a ride, and I don't think we'll ever see it. But for me, if I had to pick between the two, I'm picking Messi. But
Yeah.
that's it. Messi or Ronaldo, if you had to build around one, pick one in their prime. I feel like Ant would
Um,
go CR.
Ant is without his headphones.
I think Ant's
Hang
going.
on.
Okay.
Omer.
Um, yeah, Messi. Mainly because I admire him longer. Like he really, like my jaw dropped when he was really young and just it didn't stop. He kept improving. And Ronaldo was more like I came to really appreciate him and admire what he has done and how he achieved it like later on in his career.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I
Sorry.
have to say
Lost my
Messi,
headphones.
but
I
yeah,
feel the
but
same.
both are just phenomenal.
I feel the same way. Yeah. I'd feel the
The
same way.
the
I
move
agree.
to Juve was a big catalyst for that because we got to see a bit more of the inside and like the
Yeah.
human that he is, and that kind of changed how I felt about him.
Yeah. And then gun to
It
your
was
head,
awesome.
Ant, if you had to pick one of them for a side that you're creating, a team you're building.
Yeah, I'm with Omer. I'm probably gonna take Ronaldo. I love
Okay.
Messi. Actually, I have the Argentina jersey on the
No,
wall
Omer
down here on the
chose
bottom.
Messi. He was just saying he
I'll take
grew
Messi.
Oh, I'm
appreciation for
sorry.
Ronaldo later.
Sorry,
Yeah.
I lost the headphones.
It's all
I'm
good.
probably gonna take Ronaldo.
Yeah. Yeah, I figured you'd be a CR guy and take him. I don't think there's a wrong answer there, everybody. Like I said, they've both been ridiculous.
Yeah,
It's just a preference thing. I'll never forget 91 goals in a calendar year. Fucking absurd, man.
insane,
Like Messi
insane.
was like that was just absolute insanity. But like I say, preference, everybody. Guys, enjoy the match today. Okay, thank you for joining in the live. Take a second to like the video. Again, reminder, a link for our great friend, great long-time OG supporter of the channel. Want to show him how tremendous our Juve community is. The link in there for Addy as he continues to fight a rare disease. Absolutely every penny counts, everybody. And please, if you could share, that's great. I'm going to be posting it on our socials as well. Enjoy the match. We're back tomorrow with a post-match podcast. And hopefully It's a victory Tuesday. I fully expect it to be all right. So we'll reconvene tomorrow and then tackle this one in full and look ahead. As always, fino alla fine, forza Juve, Ant, Omer, always an absolute pleasure. Ciao tutti.
Yeah.